With no traditional forms of puppetry in Denmark, the art was mostly inspired by its neighbouring European countries. Although financial support is given to children's theatre and modern experimental theatre, puppet theatre as a special art form is not so fortunate. Puppetry, in most people's minds, relates to children's play as a hobby or as an educational tool, and not to professional, artistic or theatrical activity. However, at least one troupe seeks to differ.
The troupe name is Mediet and the Mask, in Danish, Mediet og Masken, and we are from Denmark. For a long time I worked with another performance troupe, maybe 10 years, traveling around Europe with big shows, peep shows and stuff like that. Very expressive, more and more minimalistic shows. Ended up with almost puppet playing by performers, but no puppets in the play. And then I met this Japanese puppet and mask master, Hoichi Okamoto, who invited me to Japan because he saw the potential of my movements towards the puppet. And I got the chance, and a year after, in 2001, I went and worked with him making my first puppet. He never taught me movements or anything like that. It was more like how to make a puppet. And I brought with me this modern mannequin's head, a Western ideal. And so after that I have to listen to the puppet to find out the movements. It's very much my own work. I didn't have a teacher for that one, but most of the dance movements or the briefing you can bring into the puppet work.
Inspired by his long work with Western traditional performance, Svend Kristensen is more than determined to break new ground for Danish puppetry. The characteristics of his work are the research in the roots of ritual, religion and myth, as well as the fascinating aspects and importance of the life-size puppet. With huge materials to draw from the various religions and modern abstract art, aesthetics converge towards religious forms and the different aspects of time, space and presence.
The performance has a name called The Revenge of the Crystal. I took the inspiration from Ovid. I want to work with the tragedy and the ritual thing. I wanted to make a travel to the underworld. So it's a kind of, I'm trying to make a modern ritual, really. The ritual is mostly about the metamorphosis of life and death. So when is the things becoming alive and when are they going to die? And the ritual is also about that we as humans are flesh and bones and we are going to die, but the ideal, the picture of the goddess, is going to be prolonged throughout all time. My basic, agenda is that I make space for the public. So of course they see the story, they see the movements, they see the aesthetics, and they see the briefing, because it's a common language of breathing. And I hope that they find themselves as creators, so they don't watch somebody creating something, but they have to put in their own imagination and fantasy in this very open text. So it's like a religious text with many meanings and many, many layers. So it depends on the person what to see, but of course there is a story. There is a progression along the way. I know from other people, I speak a lot with the public after because I need the critics. I need what they see. That's an important aspect. So whenever I have a relation with the puppet, because I'm a player as well, people are very much zooming into the stage and are very interested in what's going to happen between the two persons.
By letting space and time gesticulate through the skill and body of the performer, aesthetics will eventually enhance the value of each performance. Perhaps it's also important to own a greater understanding of what the various forms have in common. Recognition is sought by all performers, and the philosophy and fascination with puppetry continues to lead all puppeteers to a greater level in the art. What happens now will ultimately affect the fate of puppetry in the future.